I'm Dr. Drake. I know how money works. But if you want a simple play, Gav, my avatar's the genius. Hey, I'm Dr. Drake's avatar. I make finance simple. No confusing jargon, no fluff. Everything you need, pal. Clear and easy. Let's dive in.
What if a market crash is brewing right now in February 2026? But the smart money, insiders, execs who know these companies best, are quietly loading up on the dip like it's the deal of the year. Stick with me. I'm about to break down the real signals flashing yellow, why small caps are actually crushing it while big tech wobbles, my personal watch list that could survive or explode if things turn choppy, and my no BS predictions for the rest of the month so you know exactly whether to buy fear, hold tight, or trim before it's too late. Dr. Drake here from Douglasville, Georgia, your financial doctor prescribing the straight path to real financial freedom. I've ridden through crashes, booms, and everything in between, and right now, the warnings are loud, but the opportunity might be louder. In the next few minutes, I'll diagnose the full picture. No fear-mongering, just facts from fresh data, so you walk away with a clear plan. Let's start with the patient, the market today. As of mid-February 2026, the S&P 500 sitting around 6,840 to 6,880 after some recent dips. We saw a rough patch earlier this month with 1 to 2% drops, NASDAQ taking bigger hits from tech jitters. But small caps? The Russell 2000's been the real leader, outperforming big time with gains in the 3 to 5% range recently, thanks to that healthy rotation into value, domestic, and undervalued plays. Earnings season wrapped strong, over 70% of S&P companies beating estimates, but forward guidance has cracks, especially in software and AI, where disruption fears are biting hard. Now, the big question everyone's Googling, is a full crash coming? Analysts are all over the map. Some, like BCA, are warning the S&P could tank to 4,200 to 4,500. That's up to 40% down from highs if fear spreads. Others see a 15 to 20% pullback starting late February or early March, then a bounce. Goldman puts recession odds low at 25%, maybe 15% downside. Even wild stuff like astrologers hyping solar eclipse dates around mid-February for major crashes. Markets don't trade on stars, but the noise is real. What's fueling it? Overvaluation screaming, CAPE ratios sky high like dot-com peaks, Buffett indicator elevated, tech multiples stretched after AI hype. Fed minutes just out from January, rates held at 3.5 to 3.75%, no rush to cut more, and several officials open to hikes if inflation sticks or tariffs hit harder. Split views. Some bet on AI productivity boom cooling prices. Others worry about bubbles in opaque private markets and asset valuations. Add policy drama, new Fed chair talk, tariff headlines, and volatility's cooking. We've already seen software stocks dip into bear territory, trucking/logistics hammered on AI tools. If that spreads, 10 to 20% correction feels likely. But hold up, here's where most folks get it wrong and why I'm not hitting the panic button. History shows corrections are normal in bull markets, median pullback around 10 to 15%, and we've had plenty without recessions. Small caps and value are leading for good reason. Lower borrowing costs helping, earnings growth forecasts higher, 17 to 22% for Russell 2000 versus 14% large caps. Massive valuation discount. They're 30% plus cheaper. This rotation's healthy, away from megatech concentration risk into broader winners. Economic data's still supportive. Jobs steady, retail holding up, inflation tamed enough for the Fed to pause without crashing everything. JP Morgan sees resilient global growth, double-digit equity gains possible, despite 35% recession odds. Curious why insiders are buying heavy in small caps right now? Filings show execs scooping shares in undervalued names, community banks, cyclicals, domestics, because they see the value Wall Street's finally noticing. If we get that dip everyone's fearing, it could be the buy of the year. So, my watch list, the names I'm holding through any storm or adding on weakness. Small cap/value leaders with insider buying and strong domestic exposure. Think community banks, industrials coiled for breakout. Defensives like utilities and staples if volatility spikes. Oversold AI/infrastructure plays that aren't pure hype, memory chips, data centers where real build-out continues. Avoid overvalued software, still bleeding on disruption, or tariff exposed without hedges. Risks? If inflation surprises up or Fed hints hikes, deeper pullback possible. But if supports hold, like 6,700 to 6,800 on S&P, bounce into spring likely. My honest predictions for the rest of February 2026 and near term. Sideways to slightly higher grind if data cooperates. Maybe test 7,000 plus highs again. But a 5 to 15% dip wouldn't shock me, especially late February/early March on no-cut signals or bad prints. Worst case, deeper if recession fears ignite, but unlikely 2008 style without bigger cracks showing. Markets priced for hope, but turbulence is coming. Don't chase highs blindly. Don't sell in fear. Use any dip to load quality at discounts. This is your prescription for financial freedom in choppy waters. Stay diversified. Focus on fundamentals over headlines. Position like insiders buying value. What about you? Feeling the nerves or ready to buy the fear? Drop a comment below with your biggest worry or watch list pick. Smash that like if this cleared the fog. Subscribe for more real Georgia-style market diagnoses. And hit the bell so you catch my next update before the crowd. Dr. Drake out. Let's build that wealth together, one smart move at a time. Your prescription for financial freedom? Stay calm, stay informed, and we'll talk soon.